Ho, ho! Merry Christmas! What, Andy? Top of the morning to you and a Merry, Merry Christmas. Hey, everybody. Hope Santa was good to you. Hope you got everything you want. I did not have Alexis out in the driveway this morning with a big bow on it like the commercials. Like the commercials have the car. I guess I was on the naughty list. Can you believe the weather, Andy? It's Christmas. Mid-40s today, upper 40s, low 50s, all week long. It's late December, everybody, and it's in Montana, and we've got it's like 70s in places that it is not supposed to be. Listening to a little AC/DC this morning, weren't we? Yeah, I want a mistress for Christmas, yeah! Man, it is Monday, December 25th, and we are here just like every other Monday morning. I mean, come on, man. It's like NBA all day today, Andy, right? Yeah, NBA all day. There's like 6 games on today. It's like 8 o'clock in the morning. What, the game started, an hour ago? Jesus, 6 games? And that's ESPN and ABC, right? And then you got CBS and Fox have we got 3 NFL games today. So, yeah, we're working. Yeah, we're here. God, like I said, it's so weird, man. It's December. It's December, and it's like in the 60s and 50s in Montana. It's like kids are running around like, yeah, when I grow up, dude, it's like the 70s in December. You're not growing up. I hear those sleigh bells ring-a-ring, ching-ching, ding-a-ling, do-da-dee-la-doo-doo-doo. Happy to have a sleigh ride with you. That's right. That's the Ronettes. Yeah, every time I hear that, I think of the movie Goodfellas and all the Christmas scenes in it. That's a traditional Christmas movie, isn't it, Andy? Goodfellas, along with Die Hard and Elf. Those are Christmas movies. Should have watched Die Hard last night. It's Christmas Day now. So, it's a traditional day that most of the Christian, world celebrates, the birth of Jesus Christ, but, it's only been that way, actually, on the human timeline way of thinking. It's only been like that a short while. And actually, it's not really even the right time of that year, right, Andy? But we'll get into that later, we will, right. We know that Christmas is celebrated in late December. Okay? Can you say Winter Solstice? And it's both a sacred religious holiday and a worldwide, would you say, cultural and commercial phenomena. As far as the human timeline goes, though, I feel like this hat. It's only been around a short time, though. Christmas is, come on, it's only been recognized in the United States here since 1870. So 1870, 1970. It's not that 150 years we've been celebrating, give or take a year or so. So Christmas brunch in? It's only been going on. Are we going to Christmas brunch? Oh my God. Brunch. Oh, let's go. Chris, are you going to brunch? Everybody going to brunch? Let's go to brunch on Christmas. It's Christmas brunch. No, actually, the middle of the winter, okay, has been a time of celebration around the world, okay? And in fact, like centuries and centuries, millenniums before the concept even of Jesus. Early Europeans celebrated the light and the birth of the darkness days of winter. And the winter solstice is the longest day of the year. I even had friends on Facebook posting about, it's the winter solstice, it's the longest day of the year, and the next day, what? We're going to start getting lighter, and everything's starting to change. And it basically meant for the early cultures and us now that, the worst of the winter and the darkest of the winter is over. And now we've got light and, all light and days, dancing days. Dancing days are here again. The Dancing Days by Led Zeppelin. Okay? What if they had Led Zeppelin back there when they celebrated those winter solstices? Come on, What cool. They sing Immigrant Song. That was, we come from the land of the ice and snow. That was like from about Scandinavia. Yeah. And speaking of Scandinavia, the Norse celebrated Yule, U-L-E, Yule. And they celebrated it from December 21st, which is the winter solstice, all the way through January. They celebrated the return of the sun. They drug these huge logs into their camps or like in front of their encampments, and their what Vikings lived in, colonies or whatever, and then they'd burn them, and it would take, they'd stack them up so big it would take all that month to burn, And what did they do? They drank and partied and the decadence, they'd stare into the fire all drunkenly and screwed, effed up, hey man, every spark that's going up in the air is like a pig or a calf is going to be born this year. No, they really thought that. That's what they said. You see, you got to remember though that the winter solstice and the end of December was a perfect time for celebration in most areas of Europe, and that was the time of the year that most cattle and pig were slaughtered, so they wouldn't have to be fed for the entire winter. And for many people, that was the only time of the year. It was the only time that they'd have fresh meat, the fresh supply of meat. Okay, so that'd be cause for celebration there. Okay, but not only that, but when they started making their beer and wine after the harvest, they started making it. That was, excuse me, this beer and wine started happening. And most of the beer and wine that was made during the year, as they were doing other things. It was finally fermented and ready for drinking. So you got food, booze. It's dark all the time. You're not working. You're hanging out in the dark. Got the serving wench. So everybody's ready for drinking. They're ready for drinking. And in Germany now, people honored the Odin. It's Odin. Yeah, okay. It's a pagan god, and they honored him during the midwinter holiday, which just happened to be in the winter solstice again. Okay, you notice how there's a reoccurring theme with the winter solstice. I hear those bing bing bingling, ring ding dingling, boom, do da boo. That's not even a song. Okay, so the Germans and the Gauls are celebrating in the winter, and they're believing in the winter they're come out and celebrate the Germans and the Gauls, but they were terrified of Odin. You got this up there because they believe he made nocturnal flights, so they hid at night, and then so they build the big fires in Germany in the nights to stay safe. But they say he sat on a throne in the sky and judged people. Who am I talking about? I'm talking about Odin, of course. What do you think I'm talking about, okay? I'm talking about Odin. What? I'm glad you asked. Meanwhile, Andy just says that Europe? No, that's England, Europe. What about Rome? Okay, Rome was the Roman Empire at that time, right? Okay. Rome had Saturnalia. Is that an album by Def Leppard? Saturnalia? When the Saturnalia, yeah, come on, what do you want? Saturday. Basically, it was an honor, a holiday that honored the god, not the planet, the god Saturn. Notice how all our planets are named after Greek and Roman gods. You got Saturn, Mars, Neptune, Mercury, all of them but Earth. Venus, oh Venus, yeah. So Saturn was the god of agriculture. So again, food. Just like their European counterparts, the Romans, Jesus, the party was on at Rome. It's like sex, drugs, and rock and roll for the times. Okay, now, you got to remember in the early times when people, after Christianity started, Easter was the main holiday. Okay, the death and the resurrection. That's a big deal. The birth, not so much. Wise men, frankincense, myrrh, a virgin. Whoa, wait a minute. It's a big deal, but it's, So, what happened is that okay, so up to this point, let's summarize, Andy, so everybody doesn't get jumped ahead. Before this, up to this point in the broadcast, all things that are going on during the winter solstice are what? Drinking, drugs, sex, rock and roll, Led Zeppelin, partying for gods, being afraid of gods, Uriah Heep, and Jerry Garcia is handing out sheets of blotter acid before they play a 6-hour concert. Okay? It is decadent times. Okay? All right. So we got that. It's a party. It's a party from the British Isles. It's a party to the British Isles, to Rome, from Germany, from France. Everybody's partying during the winter solstice. Okay. Now, like I said, in the early years, Easter was the main Christian holiday. In the late 4th century, the Catholic Church decided to institute the birth of Jesus as a holiday. Okay? Unfortunately, I'm no scholar, I'm no biblical scholar, but unfortunately the Bible doesn't mention really a date of birth. They're harvesting, right? Aren't the wise men, aren't they doing harvest or something like that? That wouldn't be in December, would it? Okay. So the Bible doesn't really mention when the birth of Christ was. There's a harvest, like I said, but but Pope, listen, you throw it up there so I can see it. Pope Julius the First. That's quite the Pope there, man. Julius the First. Did he start Orange Julius, I wonder? No, he didn't. Okay. I was just wondering. But Pope Julius the First chose December 25th in an effort, and what he wanted to do is adopt and absorb the transition to the. You wanted to adopt the traditions of the pagan festivals by holding Christmas at the same time. By doing so, the Pope and the religious people believe that it would be embraced, popular. Everybody's already got a holiday going, so they're like, all right, we're down with it, right, Andy? They're like, we're down with it. So basically, the party was really on. Okay, believe it or not. Once the Pope tried to mesh the holidays together, the believers, they first attended church, and then it took on a debauchery. I mean, from the reading and stuff we read, it's like it's a drunken carnival atmosphere. It was almost similar to Mardi Gras in New Orleans. Now, back in its heyday, even everybody's drunk, girls throwing their clothes off, pranks, mischief, everything's going on. It's like, all right, they tried to get this new holiday going, and they mixed it all up with the old holidays, and so still, through the 16th century, Christmas, the winter solstice, is all just this huge orgy of sex, drugs, and rock and roll. Like I said, it's just, okay? So, by the early 17th century, a wave, there's a wave of religious reform that changed the way that Christmas was celebrated in Europe. All right. Basically, when what's his name? Oliver Cromwell. My name is Oliver Cromwell, and I'm a freaking Puritan. And the Puritan, and I'm over Cornwall, the Puritan. And their forces took over in England in what? 19, no, they took it over in 1645, and one of their, they vowed, we will rid England of decadence, and part of their effort was to cancel Christmas, period. They canceled it. Wow. Cancel culture based on religion? Wow, Andy, can you imagine that happening, nowadays? Can you? So, they got that going on. Oliver Cromwell. And then don't forget about the Pilgrims, those English separatists that came to America in, 1620? They were even more orthodox in their beliefs than old Cromwell. And as a result, in the new colonies, Christmas was not even a holiday in the early Americas. In fact, Andy, right, from 1659 to 1681, Christmas was actually against the law in Boston. In Boston, in New Boston, anyone exhibiting the Christmas spirit was fined 5 shillings. What is freaking 5 shillings? After the American Revolution, remember, the English customs fell out of favor, and one of those customs was Christmas. So Christmas wasn't even declared a federal holiday in America until, like I said, Andy, 1870. So, 19th century Americans, once they started it, it was sort of reinvented. Not to say that the world was all going crazy, but, it had a tradition of partying and the Winter Solstice and all of that. And so the American movement after 1870 kind of reinvented it to what it is, I think, now. I mean, come on. It was a raucous carnival party, and now it's a family-centered day of basically kind of peace and nostalgia and get together and family and I mean, if you want to get real technical into it, you can, historians, you have a Christmas Carol. That was English playwright Charles Dickens, and you also had the American author, Washington Irving, who kind of helped define this new holiday that we had going on here in this country. And what it did is that it made it so that families were kind of brought in to this idea, or this families were brought into this, what is it? What am I trying to say, Andy? Families were brought into this idea or this concept that they were celebrating Christmas and they were celebrating the holidays just like it had been done for centuries. Kind of a la Reader's Digest, right? So Americans today, think that, well, this is how it's been forever. Well, no, it's only been like this for, 150 years in this country. America, basically, America, I don't know, Andy, would I be so far-fetched to say that we reinvented an actual holiday from a drunken, disarrayed sexual party to this family gathering? I don't know, I'd say we actually reinvented the holiday to fill the needs of the cultural needs of a growing nation. I mean, come on. Christmas was not always like this. Till America kind of helped, and Scrooge and all that changed it all. I don't know, though, Andy. Sounds like those 2-week-long pagan parties kicked ass. Christmas is now. We're going to go to brunch, and we're going to open a couple presents, watch the kids, and we're going to watch some games, and that's it. And then tomorrow, we have to go back to work. However, if it was the old pagan festivals, we'd be like right knee-deep into a party right now. It had just started a few days ago. We'll have 3 more weeks. Eating, feasting, debauchery. What do you think, Andy? I mean, come on. Whatever. I don't know. But yeah, we kind of redefined it. It's not always been like this. It's started out, and this isn't news to everybody. It's not everybody. I didn't know this. You did know this. Okay? Santa was an invention. For all the children watching the podcast, go somewhere else. Because we're Santa. Remember that when you found out Santa wasn't real? It's like, Santa's not real. Look, however you're spending today, if it with family, friends, grandma, if you're going to brunch, or if you're having pagan rituals and debaucheries and feasts. Well, feasts. Whatever I got to say is have a very, very, very Merry Christmas today. Hope you have a great day. I thank all of you for watching us all year long. You've been my Christmas present. So, Andy, are we done for it? We're done for the year? Andy says we're done for the year. I can't believe it. We're not going to see everybody for a whole year. It's only going to be a week, less than a week. All right, then. Everybody have a very, 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 very Merry Christmas. Don't forget to spay and neuter your pets. Adopt. Don't shop. Don't be letting the pets eat stuff off the table today. It's not good for them. A little pie, maybe, but no whipped cream. Rescue. Foster. Get out there and volunteer. Adopt the shelter pet. Today, tomorrow. Tomorrow. Can't do it today. The shelters are closed. Andy, we're out of here for the year. Andy says we're out of here for the year. So, everybody have a very, very, very Merry Christmas. Thanks for having me in your house for a half an hour this morning. Go on, get back to the kids, get back to dinner. We will see you next year. Andy, we'll see you next year. We'll see you next year, everybody. Talk to you next year. Great one. Have a Merry Christmas, everybody. Bye. Come on, come on, come on.